Oh, hello. I had a question from Mikilu about a script that has to do with NPC conversations in FPS editor, and I decided to make a little video guide showcasing how I do it. So I don't have this video scripted or anything, so I'm gonna try and do it during this actual video. So I started with an empty script, and we're gonna save this inside the script folder in FPS editor. I'm gonna name this a simple one, which is just gonna be called talk NPC, and you gotta put the type dot script. That's going to be the name of our script, and we are going to write a couple of different things there in order to give our NPC a way of actually talking. Normally what you would do if you just had an NPC that only gave like one line of dialogue, you would do text, then two dots, whatever this is called. You open this up and you type, "Hello, it is I, Mr. NPC." And then you would do something like map return at the end of it in order to return to the map. Then you would go over to FPS editor. You can make an entity, and the entity needs to have the same name as your script. So talk NPC. You would save, and then you would put like some kind of sprite over here. I'm gonna quickly put one just so we know what the NPC looks like. I'm just gonna choose a random sprite I have, so we have something to identify the NPC with. And I'm gonna put this guy, for example. This guy is going to have that set up as his image. He's solid, breakable, and I'm gonna turn him into a terminal. This way you have to interact with him in order to actually trigger the script. And I'm gonna create a little room over here at the bottom, and I'm going to surround myself with walls so I don't get attacked by any pesky enemies or whatever while I'm inside here. Put my character over here, make him player direction up, and then we go over here to the entity. The last entity is the one we created, it called talk NPC. We open up the game, and I probably put myself in the completely wrong place. Great start. Oh, it's because I already have the play over here. Take that off. Go back here. And what's happening here? Yep, this is why this was not... And this was not planned, as you can see. There might be a player thing here somewhere. So what's happening here? It's a great question. Ah! I think I know what's happening. Okay. Fair enough. You know, these things happen. It's because I placed them on floor level. I was placing the walls, not the tiles themselves. Now it works. See, this is why I'm making this video not scripted at all. And you can see that you will encounter problems. Of course, your use of FPS editor, that's just part of the thing. And now you see that it changes to the hand, which this is a custom hand. But you can now interact with him with the E key. And he's not saying anything. Also a great start. Which means that something is wrong with this. Let me take a look into the scripting and the wiki for a second. So text places text on the string. So why is it not talking? Good question. Maybe it's because it doesn't require these dots. I don't know, I put the dots there, but like I said, I don't know these things by heart, but now it shows, hello, it is Mr. NPC. So this character is talking. So if we write vn over here, and I think it's vn 1 followed by space, it will turn visual novel mode on. And now it shows up like this with a box. And this box, you can customize it. I ended up making this custom box as well. That looks like a TV screen. And you can see the NPC is actually talking. And you could technically have a bunch of different lines like this. I love potato chips. I like shooting targets, for example. And now this is going to play all these different texts. It is Mr. PC, and then you use the interaction key to advance. I like shooting targets. But what if we wanted the NPC to only say one particular line at a time? What we would do is do, if I'm not mistaken, do global. We got to do if first. If, and this basically is going to check if something, if variable equals something, for example. So we're going to create a variable here. We're going to call it global.talk talk1. That's going to be, actually, to not cause any confusion, we're just going to call it global.talk. And we're going to say it has to be equal to 0. And then we have to open parentheses, finish over here, and have map return here, and have it close here. What this is going to do is it's going to check if this variable is like this. And then we can have this variable, after this little bit of text is done, have it change to the value of 1. And I think we might have to do this instead, without the $sign. Just make sure. Because what this is going to do now, let's check. Hello, it is Mr. NPC. Now it crashed. That's showing a sign that something is wrong. So let's see again. If it has to be global NPC, global talk like this. Like I said, this is mostly like trial and error. I get syntax wrong a lot of times, so I basically gotta test until I get it right. And it just is what it is. And we're gonna create a couple of ifs here. If equal to 1. This continues conversation. And we're gonna see if this works or not. Because I'm doing this by memory. Hello, it is Mr. NPC. Okay, so it is not working. So it is not changing the value of this. What we might have to do is, let's see, maybe global talk has to be like that, and the other thing was causing me confusion. Let's see if that works. It is Mr. NPC. And it crashed. Good sign. Very good sign. So I'm definitely doing something wrong here. Maybe this doesn't need a space. Or maybe I'm thinking this wrong. You can't make it equal 1. You gotta make it equal to +1. there's always like a trick to this. Like this is very very syntax sensitive, so Mr. NPC, so that's not working. Great. Global.talk. Let's try this again. There's definitely something wrong. Can't put my finger on what is actually wrong yet. This is not working. So let me check. Global equals 1. Global HP. Yep. Like I said, it has to do with syntax. So apparently we gotta do this. Like I said, all of these things you gotta, and this is what happens to me a lot during this. I make a lot of mistakes when it comes to these things. And now the game doesn't want to load because there's, oh, there we go. Load. It is Mr. NPC, and it crashed. Oh, I can't tell what's causing the crash. Ah, was it that? Was it just because that wasn't moved down? Yep, I think it was because it wasn't moved down. Let's try again. There, yep, discontinues conversation. It was just something as simple, and you see the mistake. This needed to be moved down. Because this has to do with syntax, so you can now keep adding these. And you could say, this continues conversation. This conversation is going further. And then we put number 2. And then we set this global talk, this one to 2. You could also do it so it does like, it increments. And I think this still works here, but I could be wrong. Let's try it. This is so it increments, and we'll see if this works or not. Just to make sure. Yep, this continues conversation. This conversation is going further. And then we could have this conversation is going absolutely nowhere. And then you do global talk, set it up to 0, and this is what I'm gonna do. It's gonna repeat the whole entire conversation. So we do this. Hello, it is Mr. NPC. This continues conversation. This conversation is going further. This conversation is going absolutely nowhere. And then it goes back to the first line of dialogue.